So as I get off the freeway and I'm turning over the overpass, I realize that on my right is one of the biggest cemeteries in northern Colorado. There's actually more than one. I believe that they have quite a lot of different properties now. It's called Ollinger. The Ollinger family, whose patriarch's name was John, in the 1900s, late 1800s, I think it was like 1890, he and his wife opened the first cemetery and mortuary. And this client lived within a mile radius of the cemetery. What's interesting is, in my experience, cemeteries don't have a lot of dead people around, not the spirits of dead people. Think about it. If you go to the grocery store, you don't stand outside your parked car. You go and do the things you got there to do. It doesn't appear to be any different when we die. So there weren't a ton of people, generally speaking, at the cemetery. This was a different situation. So now I finally understood why my guide had said that he wanted us to go to the property, because there was so much going on this property, because you had so many gifted people living in the single space, compounded by the entity that this client woman had with her from the time that she was 8 years old, her medical issues, all of the kids that were intuitive, she was intuitive. And then you add into that the proximity to a historic cemetery where lots of people were buried. They were drawing this to them. They were drawing it. The way that I've explained this is, I talk about the movie The Shining. Danny, the little boy, is explained to him by his helper that people with intuition shine. And this is a really good explanation. So there are little pinpoints of light. Think about that. So if you put a single pinpoint of light, people are going to be able to see that, right? You get 15 pinpoints of light altogether, they're broadcasting. It's like a spotlight. So this is what was going on. So now we have an approach as to how we're going to deal with this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove all the dead. Then we're going to see what's left. So I get to the client's house. They're just getting home. I think I did walk the property. As I'm walking the property, now I'm starting to see what's actually going on. That little nugget of information took away some of that entity's power, because now I had some inside information. So as I'm walking the property line, I'm getting ready to I'm going to do an in-person clearing first. I'm going to cross as many of the dead as I can while I'm on site. And then I'm going to go home and deal with the entity, because by then he hasn't surrounded himself with all of these dead people that he can direct to misdirect me and my guide. So we have a game plan now. So I'm walking the property and Adeline is talking to me the whole time. John now makes complete sense. Remember how he'd said, I have a connection to all these dead people. You own the cemetery they're all buried in. So yes, you absolutely did have a connection to all these people. So recognizing and acknowledging who these folks are, and then opening a doorway for them to go through. I would say 98% of the dead that were on the property went through the doorway. Didn't have to deal with them anymore. That lightened the load considerably. I go into the house, and as I'm walking through the house, I can feel this malevolent thing pushing back at me, pushing. We just powered through that shit. I'm not easily intimidated by that stuff. If the only way that you can come at me is when I'm asleep and my guard is down, you just tipped your hand. That means you're not as strong as you think you are. You are not as big a badass as you're making yourself out to be. So you can hold me up by my neck when I'm asleep. Come at me when I'm awake. Come at me when I'm with my guide, and we'll see how strong you are then. Not so much. So as we're walking through the house, keeps coming at me, and it gets to the point where the client who's in the house is saying, this is making me really physically uncomfortable. She can sense this thing that's coming at her. So the way that you can imagine this is, you have the living client who has this attachment to this entity, who is holding on to her. At the same time, it's trying to push me away. This is in self-defense. It's just trying to stay alive, because it knows that I'm not going to let it stay. So we get through the house. I have an opportunity to talk to Joey, the little boy. I brought with me some particularly blessed in a certain way with holy water crosses, because I wanted him to have something that he can hold on to. Kids are very easy to work with, intuitive kids, because they don't have that, I've got to understand this, it has to make rational sense to me. Oh no, that's not going to work because that scene doesn't have a logical reason for it. No, you can give kids the tools that they need to be able to fight things like this, and they just go, okay, and they move forward and they kick ass. Adults are a little bit harder. So I went through, I did the house clearing, knowing that this was not going to be what seals it. I had a discussion with the homeowners and the client, letting them know that, all right, I'm going to go straight home. Now that we know what's going on here, I'm going to go straight home and do the clearing tonight. What you can expect after that, and I give them all of the instructions and the tools that they need to be able to do their part. So the process when we're getting rid of things like this is we go through and do the clearing ourselves. I do it with my guide from a distance, and then the family and the client reclaims their space. So I'm giving you a blank canvas. Nothing is left in your home. You're now going through that home and saying, this space is mine. I am claiming it for myself for them in a Christian way. I'm claiming it in the name of Jesus Christ. That's great. So we go home to do the work.